Welcome to the latest midweek car competition judging video here at BOTB. We'll now hand over to the lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name's Alex Bonnie-Martin from Onside Law and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company assets. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning. My name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee, currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Hi, my name's Matthew Ray. I've affiliated in multiple counties across England and have refereed from grassroots through to professional academies.
Hi, my name is MENDONCA. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, firstly as a player and then as a referee.
Good morning, my name's Roger Wheeler. I'm a referee and I've been refereeing and lining for more than 30 years.
Good morning, my name's Peter GEORGIou and I am a football and futsal referee.
Good morning, my name's Andy BRATHWAITE and I'm a football referee, mentor and licensed observer.
Hi, I'm JENNA SCHILLACI, retired professional footballer. I'm now a head coach on a Tottenham College programme.
Hi, my name is Kieran FITZGIBBON. I've played football for more than 30 years and I'm now a senior county referee.
My name is Chloe Morgan and I'm the goalkeeper for Crystal Palace Women.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 10 individual selections.
Thank you very much, Alex. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. So we have two players in shot. The player on the right in black and red just seems to be on looking. He's got his arm out, which sort of suggests to me maybe he's come to a stop because of this player's legs coming up. And the player in predominantly in white, he's looking across to the ball. He's leaning back slightly and his legs coming up and raised and his boot is blurred, which suggests to me that his foot's coming up to meet the ball and he's going to either overhead kick it or clear it away. I'll draw some lines in first. Firstly, from this player's eyes, we've got quite a narrow spread up from him, up through sort of 3 or 4 choices at the top and a lower choice there, which I suggest is just maybe the difference of how far the ball is away or how far the people think the ball is away. And I'll draw a couple of lines up from this player's eyes, up to the top there and to the bottom here. Okay, Matthew, I'll come to you. There's yours magnified, the yellow cross, and I'll put the magnifier over the top of it. How did you see the situation, what was happening?
Yeah, so I've used the two players basically to get the sort of the vertical of the cross. So looking at the player in red, I thought is looking pretty much horizontal across. And the player in white, if you have a look at his right eye, although his head's tilted upwards, I think you can see more the top of his sort of pupil than the bottom. So I think he's looking on the horizontal as well as we see it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a question of, how far left or right. So I'm looking at it thinking that the player in white's either going to kick the ball or he's going to take it down. So the ball's coming into him and it's still coming into his boot. So I think it's to the right-hand side of his boot. And that's where I've judged it to be.
Okay, thank you very much, Matthew. And Jenna, I'll come to you. You're just to the left of Matthew's and ever so slightly the lowest. How have you seen what was happening?
Yeah, I felt the player in red and black's eye line was quite flat. I didn't feel he was looking too high, and the same with the guy in the white. I felt he had quite a flat line from his eyes. I felt the ball was coming into the player in the right and that he was going to bring it down. Felt that he's leaning back, his legs up, so I felt like the ball was closer to him. It was coming in immediately to him, and that's why I've gone slightly lower.
Okay, thank you. And I'll come to you, Andy, next. There's yours magnified at the top, the light blue cross. How did you see the action?
Thanks, Matt. My initial view was from the guy in red and black on the right. He's looking quite flat, I thought, but then after looking at the guy on the left-hand side who's reaching for the ball with his right leg, his gaze brought me slightly above the horizontal look of the guy in red and black. And I just thought that just the slight angle of his foot, I thought it's coming. Normally we sort of say that, you know, that he's already pulled it under control, but I just feel that it's just coming in that little bit more, and he's either just going to catch the tip of his boot, whether he's already touched it or is about to touch it, I'm not sure, but I just felt that the angle of the guy in white, his eye line just brought me up slightly further.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And I'll come down the three crosses on the left at the top here. So Chloe, yours first. There's yours magnified, the pink cross. What have you seen in the photo?
I think quite similarly to the majority of the judges. I think when I was looking at the white player, it seemed to me that the ball was going to be dropping almost directly horizontally down onto his boot to either bring it down or to hoof it away in a way. And I took the context of the black and the red player's eye line. I felt that it was slightly more raised in line with the white player's eye line. And because the red and black player was slightly blurry, you could tell that he was in the background. And I think just because his eye line looks a little bit flatter where he is, but I think if you pushed him further back into the picture, the eye line would be further up.
Yeah, sure. I mean, one of the things I thought, as I said, that I thought he was going to play it away just because of the angle of his body. He's sort of quite unbalanced. So, but I suppose he could be coming forward. So brilliant. Thank you. Ari, you're there magnified just below Chloe's, the dark blue cross. What do you thought was happening?
Thanks, Matt. Well, I took more emphasis as well to the player in white because I think he's closer to the ball. His body language tells me that he's going to play. His right leg is up. I believe he's going to play the ball with his boot. I felt that the ball is dropping to his boot, and then the angle. When I look at the eye line, his eye line, I felt it is looking slightly so horizontal but slightly higher, and I felt that. Because of the proximity of the ball, the angle that the eye line is going to shift is going to be minimal, while on the other hand, the player in black and red is a bit further away. Obviously, his eye line will always have the possibility to increase because it's still further away from the picture, even though it looks to be looking flat. But that angle can always increase slightly. That's why I place my cross where it is.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. And then Liam, you're just ever so slightly the bottom of these three crosses, Chloe and Aries. How did you see what was happening?
Good morning, Matt. I felt that the guy in white was a bit like a few of the other guys, is that it was a good old-fashioned hook of the ball for me. I've calculated it on the fact that he's leaning back, but I've felt that his eye line's roughly 90 degrees coming out for his body, and I've gone for then looking for the ball dropping onto his boot, and as you referred to, that he felt his legs coming up due to the blur on his boot, the photograph bit of that, and then the guy in red and black, clear eye line for me. Looked at his height as well. He's obviously, even though I felt he's set back, but he's still taller than the guy in the white shirt. And I used that, and I felt that his eye line was just higher than horizontal for me, just up off a horizontal. And that's me.
Okay, thank you very much. And then we've got this little cluster of four here. So Kieran, I'll come to you. There you are. You're the lime green cross. Have you seen the challenge and what I would say challenge what's happening?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I more or less agree with what Liam has just said. I felt the player in white is hooking the ball. His leg is perpendicular to his body and it's in a straight line. There doesn't seem to be much of an angle there. So the only way to me, he's going to play the ball is maybe over his head, whether it's a clearance or a shot, I'm not sure. I did feel that he's looking slightly upwards, but maybe not that far. The player in red and black, I think, is just looking on towards the player, maybe looking at how he's going to play the ball, knowing he's not going to get there in time. And I just felt that the player in white is just looking above the horizontal, which is why I placed my cross there.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Peter, we'll come to you next. You're the purple cross. There we are. I think you're just below Kieran and myself. How have you seen this?
I've seen it with the player in white stretching for the ball, and I just emphasize on stretching because I actually think he's going to toe poke it rather than actually control it. If you take my stance on that, because of his actual the way he's stretching and he's frowning, and with regards to the player in the black and white, it's been mentioned that he is he's much further away from the ball, so. His eye line could be either looking at the boot or the ball, but in that general area. So that's where I've placed my centre of the ball there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because there's something going on in motion. So he may well be looking at the player coming up, he may be stopping. I think I said that about coming in. Thank you. And lastly, Roger, you're here with the orange cross, sort of just at the bottom of this sort of cluster of four. How did you see this?
Yeah, very much like Peter, Matt. I think I don't think the guy in red and black is involved, and I felt that the player in white, the ball's come in at a tricky height, whatever. Maybe it was a bouncing ball, but he's stretching and he's poking for me, and hence he's a little bit unbalanced. He's sort of half leaning, half falling backwards, and the best for me is a toe poke on the ball. But in terms of the eyes, pretty much straight out. Just the white player maybe looking slightly upwards, but both fairly flat for me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So obviously we see with this this white cross here, it's sort of, I feel, skewed a bit further over to the right because of the three choices that are far enough away from the sort of what I've described the two main clusters. So if I go through the process of removing Andy, Matthew, and Jenna's, you see this, the average goes pretty much in the middle of all of us and encompasses this all quite nicely. And I do feel that they're far enough away for it not to be a panel decision to remove. And what I mean by that, if I remove Matthews, the two choices are still far enough away. And of course, every time you remove one, the calculated average is going to go further away. So I would like you to comment on what I've done. And I think this is, for me, it's a bit simpler because it is part of what we've decided to do as a panel. There's not one of the three choices close enough for my mind to vote individually against them, because it doesn't bring it anywhere close to the magnifier that we use as the ball. But I would like your feelings on it, if I may. So Liam.
Yes, I am going to go with the criteria regarding the fact that, sorry guys, to the three of you, I apologise in advance, but your removal brings the cross further over to the left as I look at the picture and gives a better bearing on where my cross is.
Yeah, and I will go to all the people that I've removed because it's not a vote. So, but you know, more comments are always helpful for the players when they look at the video of how we judge this. So, Matthew.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm pleased that the average hasn't gone too high up. Obviously, I'd prefer it to be further to the right-hand side, but it's good rationale that the average and the circle around the average captures sort of all of the choices that remain in. So comfortable with that.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Ari?
Yes, I completely agree with your assessment.
Yeah, thank you. Roger?
Yeah, I agree, Matt. We've got the two little clusters of the 3 and the 4, and they're all covered, and the other 3 are outside. So yeah, I I go with that. I go with your
Okay.
version.
Thank you. Peter?
Yes, I'm happy with that. It does, like the others have just said, just encompasses the rest of the 7 inside.
Yeah, thank you. Andy?
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I'm happy with the remaining 7 average, although I thought that my line from the guy in white was on point, but I do agree with the 7.
No, obviously appreciate that. Thank you. Jenna?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a very tight cluster there now.
Yeah, thank you. Kieran?
Yes, Matt, I agree. I think the 7 that are left there are the only difference between them is the height, and there's a variable height choice from the player in white and the player in red. So I think those 7 are actually quite close and well. So I agree with what you've done there.
Great, thank you. And lastly, Chloe?
I agree with the cluster as it is without the three judges.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. So Alex, after a good discussion about what was happening on the shot, we've decided to judge at average with myself removing Matthew, Andy and Jenna's choices.
Thank you. If you're all happy, then please click submit. Thank you, judges. The coordinates selected are X1430, Y1166. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company assets to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. This concludes the judging process. Thank you.